Let me just try a little bit of the rice and a little bit of the gravy. So I thought I'd make me a chicken sausage gumbo, and I'm gonna cook this in a crock pot. And I think we're gonna come out pretty good. We got one cut up chicken, and I also had the gizzard in there, and I did cut off the backbone. I left the main part of the breast, and I took a little bit of the skin off a few of the pieces. Basically, it has one cut up chicken. This is 1.5 cups of diced onion. This is a 1/4 cup of rotel. This would be 3 cups of water. This is going to be 1/3 cup of roux. That's my homemade roux that I made. I'll put a link in the video. You actually make this roux in the microwave. Comes out really good. I'm gonna see once I get it all stirred up if I gotta add any more roux to it. And now let me go ahead and add the spices. All right, we'll go ahead and now add all our dry ingredients. I'll have all that in the list of ingredients I'm using. This is 4 ounces of smoked sausage. Kind of like Hershey Farm, but not Hershey Farm. It's a little store in Louisiana we get that from. My neighbor gets it. It's really good smoked sausage too. And we're going to use 1/2 tablespoon of browning mix. It means we're not really browning the chicken beforehand. And as far as the ingredients, that's everything. We got 1.5 cups of diced onion, 1/2 tablespoon of dry diced onion, 1/2 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1/2 tablespoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, 1/4 teaspoon of gumbo filet, 1/2 tablespoon of browning mix, 1/4 cup of rotel. The only reason I put the rotel is for the filet, so it doesn't become slimy. 1 cut up chicken, 1 bay leaf, and 1/3 cup of roux. So let me go ahead and mix that up a little bit. And we'll kind of see what it looks like. And that's how we're looking so far. For the onions, I didn't dice that by hand. I put that in my food processor. So that was really quick. You don't have to sit there all day trying to cut all that up. I'm going to go ahead and add 3 more cups of water to it. And I'm going to cook this on low heat overnight in the crock pot. And we're making a gumbo. I'm not going to add nothing else to it. I got some jarred gizzards, chicken gizzards that are pressure canned, but I'm not going to use them in this. This is just going to be plain chicken and sausage. I figured that's ingredients that everybody can get their hand on. And if they want to make a gumbo, this should be a pretty good gumbo when it's all said and done. And you ain't got to do nothing to it. If you didn't want to make your own roux, you can certainly buy your own roux. Savoy's makes a good one. That's usually the one I'll use if I don't have any homemade one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can add okra to this as well, but I'm not. Like I said, I'm gonna just make it simple. I figured this is ingredients everybody has or can get pretty easily. And we'll just put the lid on this and we'll let it cook. Let's see, I'm starting it at 10 o'clock, so it'll be on low. So I'm gonna say 8 hours on low, because that's when I get up around 6 o'clock in the morning. So 8 hours, and we'll see what we got. I can add a little bit. If I need salt or something, I'll add it, you know, in the morning when I taste it. But oh, one more thing. And also 1 chicken bouillon cube. That's going to add some salt to it. The stuff's pretty salty. And I'm not going to add any other salt to it right now. The Cajun seasoning got salt in it, and that chicken bouillon cube got salt. So in the morning I'll check it and you know, give it a taste. And if I got to add any at that point, then I'll add. But for now, that's it. I'll cook it on low for 8 hours. Something came up last night where I couldn't even, basically once I put everything in the crock pot, I had to turn it off, and I actually put it in the refrigerator before it got hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish it today. And one thing I forgot to add to it, we're gonna add a half of a cup of diced bell pepper. And basically we're gonna go ahead and put everything back in the crock pot and get it started. So let me get that done. All right, got everything back in there. And like I said, being I'm home now, and it's not gonna be at night while I'm sleeping, I'm gonna go ahead and cook this on high. And I'm thinking probably around 4 hours or so. But I'll check it, you know, after three hours or so and see how it looks. This chicken shouldn't take too long to get done. I'm thinking 4 hours would probably be good. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, got a pretty good amount of grease in the gravy here. We're gonna have to degrease the sauce here, the gumbo here. Once it's done, it's been exactly 4 hours cooking so far. Gave it a little taste. The chicken is not quite where I want it yet, so I'm gonna let it go another hour on high, and I think it'll be nice and tender at that point. It's done. It's just not quite as tender as I want. The gravy definitely needs some salt, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some salt to it. I think we're gonna go ahead and start off with we're gonna add a half a tablespoon of salt, and about like that. Okay, I think the salt's a little bit better now. We're gonna go ahead and add a half a teaspoon of some garlic powder to it, and we're gonna also add some gumbo filet, the same amount, a half a teaspoon. Got to give it a little better taste there. Most people don't usually cook with the filet, but I do like to put a little bit into it. And I will go ahead and get this stirred about. I'll give it another little taste and see what else we got to add to it. Okay, for now that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the grease out the pan as well. Use my little degreasing pitcher, and I'm gonna just use a spoon and scoop it right into the pitcher. So let me get some of the grease out of there. Like I said, I'm gonna leave it cook for another hour. All right, went ahead and got most of the grease out, and I'm gonna go ahead and add I guess I'll measure it. I'm gonna add about a half of a teaspoon of some Cajun seasoning to it at this point, and I think that's about it for now. Give that a little stir, and like I said, I'm gonna let this cook. The chicken's not quite where I want it. I basically want it falling apart, so I think about another hour should do it. That'd be 5 hours total. And like I say, we'll just let this continue to cook. And we got about, like I said, I'm gonna cook it about 30 more minutes. You could probably go a little longer if you really wanted the chicken to be falling apart. But I'm not gonna cook it quite that much. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and put in, I guess about 4 tablespoons of some green onion tops. These are frozen that I had. And we're gonna also put in 1 tablespoon of parsley. If you have fresh parsley, all the better. This is pretty fresh. This is frozen, I had in the freezer. I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon of the parsley. And that's pretty much what I find you gotta have that in a gumbo. And like I said, I'm gonna cook this the last 30 minutes. I think that'll give it a good little taste. So that'll be it. Alrighty then. That's how we're looking here. And like I said, this has been a total of 6 hours. Instead of going 5, I was going to do 5.5. So I actually did this for 6 hours total. And I think we're at the point where it should be nice and tender. And you know, it's not quite falling apart, which is good. You can kind of see this part right here. The bones are starting to come out. So that's one of the wings. So it's definitely at the point now. Nice and tender. We'll take that bay leaf out here shortly. yeah, should be a good little gumbo. Like I said, really ain't gonna do much to it. I'm gonna add all the ingredients, so when you start it, you can just add everything at one time, and it should come out pretty good at the end. So let me get this plated up, and I'll show you what we look like. To serve a gumbo, get you a little bit white rice. This is some white basmati rice, and go ahead and get you some of the gravy. I like a lot of gravy and a very little bit of rice. Just find it, to me, you eating a gumbo, that's the way it should be. Put one of the chicken wings in there. Maybe one of the chicken thighs. Let's see what else we want here. A piece of the breast, the white meat. And there you go. Chicken gumbo in a crock pot. Basically add it, let it cook 6 hours on high. Now I did start this off with the pot being cold because it did come out the refrigerator. But you know, between 5 and 6 hours, I think will come out perfect. I mean, if it's cooked too long, basically you're just gonna have chicken that's falling apart. So you know, that's not a bad thing. Now, if they really eat this the coon ass way, I like taking a big spoon of potato salad and putting like right in the middle of it and eating that with the gumbo. To me, that's how you're supposed to eat a gumbo. And that's probably how I'm eating mine, because I do have some potato salad that's left over from something else I cooked. So let's go ahead and give this a little taste here and see what we got. Let me just try a little bit of the rice and a little bit of the gravy. And to finish it off, get your little gumbo fillet and just kind of, you know, put your little fillet around it. And that's it. That's how you make a chicken gumbo. And like I said, this is a little different than the regular way of cooking it in a pot, but you know, still got the good gumbo taste. And like I said, it's pretty foolproof. Just add it to it and let it cook 5 to 6 hours on high. Or if you did it on low, I'd go about 8 hours on low. That was my original plan. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Thanks.